We've programmed two of the most advanced AI models to embody two of the world's most powerful ideologies. One stands for capitalism, the engine of profit, competition, and personal freedom. The other defends socialism, built on equality, solidarity, and collective good. They'll face off in 7 intense rounds covering the issues that shape your life. To keep it fair, we've brought in 5 neutral AI judges to score each round. This is capitalism versus socialism. It begins now. What drives us more, competition or cooperation?
Competition is the engine of progress. It taps into our natural desire to excel, to improve, and to innovate. Throughout history, when individuals or groups have been given the freedom to compete, whether in business, science, or culture, society has seen rapid advancement. The incentive to outperform others drives people to work harder, think smarter, and create value. It's no coincidence that the most competitive economies are also the most dynamic and prosperous. Competition doesn't just reward the best, it motivates everyone to reach their potential. It weeds out inefficiency and complacency. Without it, progress stalls. Cooperation certainly has its place, but without the fire of competition, there is no urgency to act, no hunger to improve. At its core, capitalism understands that humans are driven to achieve, and competition channels that drive into real-world outcomes.
Here's how we decide the winner. After each AI debater takes their turn, our panel of AI judges scores them out of 10, based on clarity, persuasiveness, and impact. We calculate the average of those scores, and at the end, the AI with the highest average wins.
Cooperation is the foundation of human civilization. From early tribes to modern communities, we have survived and thrived by working together, not against each other. While competition can spark innovation, it often leads to division, exploitation, and inequality. Socialism holds that human beings are inherently social and interdependent. When we collaborate, we share knowledge, support one another, and ensure that no one is left behind. The greatest challenges, climate change, pandemics, poverty, are not solved by competing corporations, but by collective action. Cooperation creates systems based on mutual aid and shared responsibility, not profit at any cost. In workplaces that emphasize teamwork over rivalry, people feel more fulfilled and productive. Motivation driven by shared purpose is more sustainable than one based on outpacing others. At its core, socialism believes that true progress comes when we rise together, not when we race alone.
Cooperation is valuable, but only when it's voluntary and efficient. Capitalism doesn't reject cooperation, it enables it through choice and mutual benefit. Markets allow people to collaborate freely, customers with producers, investors with entrepreneurs. But without competition, cooperation can become forced, bureaucratic, and stagnant. History shows that systems emphasizing collective effort over individual drive often fall into mediocrity and even oppression. Who decides what the shared purpose is? In capitalism, each person finds their own. Motivation that comes from personal ambition is not selfish, it's powerful. It creates innovation, lifts entire industries, and improves lives. Yes, we must address inequality and work together on global issues, but we do so more effectively when individuals and institutions are competing to solve them. Competition doesn't divide us, it challenges us to be better, and the result is progress we all benefit from.
Capitalism glorifies competition, but often overlooks the cost. When the goal is to win, others must lose, and that breeds inequality, resentment, and short-term thinking. The market rewards those who already have advantages, while cooperation ensures everyone gets a fair chance. Innovation doesn't have to be a race, it can be a shared journey. Look at open-source software or public healthcare systems driven by collective effort, not rivalry. And while capitalism claims to offer choice, those choices are often limited by income, geography, or systemic bias. Socialism doesn't oppose individual drive, it reframes it. People can still pursue excellence, but in ways that uplift, others too. When we compete less, we listen more, build more, and include more. Human beings evolve to collaborate, and our future depends on deepening that instinct, not suppressing it in the name of profit.
What does it really mean to be free?
Freedom means autonomy, the right to choose how you live, work, and think. Under capitalism, this freedom is real. You can start a business, change careers, move where you want, and spend your earnings as you see fit. Economic freedom is essential to personal freedom. Without the ability to own property, generate wealth, and participate in markets, people become dependent on the state or others for survival. Capitalism provides the infrastructure for choice. It empowers individuals to pursue their goals and shape their lives. Government should protect rights, not dictate outcomes. Socialism, by redistributing wealth and controlling production, often limits freedom in the name of fairness. But equality of outcome can mean equality of restriction. True freedom comes from opportunity, not uniformity. Capitalism may be imperfect, but it allows people to rise based on merit, effort, and vision.
Freedom isn't just about the absence of constraint, it's about the presence of opportunity. What good is the freedom to choose if you can't afford housing, education, or health care? Socialism argues that true freedom means being free from poverty, exploitation, and fear. It's about ensuring everyone has the basics needed to thrive. Capitalism may promise choice, but it delivers it unequally. The wealthy have freedom, the poor have survival. When key resources are owned by the few, most people's choices are limited. Socialism seeks to democratize access to life's essentials. It prioritizes freedom from deprivation over freedom to accumulate. That doesn't mean everyone lives the same life. It means everyone has a fair starting point. Real liberty includes security, dignity, and equity. Socialism aims to make freedom universal, not just available to those who can afford it.
Socialism redefines freedom in a way that requires control. When a state guarantees equal outcomes, it must limit individual choices to get there. Who decides what counts as enough or what resources are essential? That power often leads to bureaucracy, inefficiency, and even coercion. Capitalism isn't perfect, but it lets people define their own lives. Yes, inequality exists, but so does mobility and innovation. Wealth isn't fixed, it's created through enterprise. Rather than leveling everyone down, capitalism pushes people up. Safety nets can exist without abandoning free markets. Freedom that depends on government approval is fragile. Capitalism provides freedom with responsibility, and that's what empowers individuals to truly thrive.
Capitalism confuses privilege with freedom. A society where your access to basic needs depends on your income isn't free, it's conditional. When millions lack healthcare, education, or stable work, their so-called choices are illusions. Socialism doesn't eliminate choice, it expands it by removing barriers. It ensures your future isn't determined by your birth, zip code, or bank account. And while capitalism praises market-driven freedom, it tolerates systems that trap people in cycles of poverty. Socialism doesn't demand uniformity, it demands fairness. It allows people to live without fear of bankruptcy or homelessness. That's not a restriction on liberty, it's the foundation of it. Real freedom means not having to struggle just to live. That's what socialism offers.
Is inequality a flaw in the system or the result of human nature?
Inequality is not a flaw, it's a reflection of diversity in talent, ambition, and risk tolerance. People are different. Some work harder, take more risks, or contribute ideas that change the world. Capitalism rewards these differences. It does not guarantee equal outcomes, but it does offer equal opportunity. By allowing individuals to reap the rewards of their efforts, it incentivizes productivity and innovation. Wealth creation benefits others too through jobs, services, and philanthropy. Trying to equalize results through force flattens initiative, and often leads to economic stagnation. Inequality should be managed, not eliminated. What matters is whether people have the ability to move up. Capitalism, despite its imperfections, offers that mobility. The alternative, forced equality, often creates new forms of injustice.
Inequality on the scale we see today is not natural, it's systemic. It's the outcome of a structure that prioritizes profit over people and entrenches power among the wealthy. Socialism doesn't aim for everyone to be the same. It aims for everyone to have enough. When millions can't access healthcare, education, or housing while a few hoard unimaginable wealth, something is fundamentally broken. The myth of equal opportunity ignores the realities of inherited privilege and structural discrimination. Inequality isn't just economic, it's social, racial, and generational. Fairness means leveling the playing field. Socialism addresses root causes, redistributing wealth, investing in public goods, and ensuring no one is left behind. The goal is not uniformity, but dignity for all.
Efforts to eliminate inequality often backfire. Redistributing wealth doesn't create prosperity. It can punish success and discourage innovation. Who decides what's fair? Too often, centralized systems concentrate power in bureaucracies that are neither efficient nor accountable. Capitalism accepts that while life isn't perfectly fair, the best way to help people is to grow the pie, not divide it smaller. Entrepreneurs and investors create jobs and technologies that improve lives. Yes, support systems are needed, but outcomes will never be equal, nor should they be. What matters is providing opportunity, not enforcing sameness. Inequality becomes dangerous when it denies access, but capitalism can adapt without abandoning its core freedom, responsibility, and growth.
Capitalism claims to reward merit, but too often it rewards luck or exploitation. Generational wealth, monopolies, and systemic bias distort the idea of a level playing field. The result? A few flourish while many struggle. Redistribution isn't punishment, it's correction. Taxing the ultra-wealthy to fund universal healthcare or education is not a threat to prosperity, it's the path to shared progress. Inequality stifles potential. When people are burdened by poverty, they can't contribute fully to society. Socialism believes no one should be condemned to hardship by the lottery of birth. A fair society is one where everyone has a real chance, not just the illusion of one.
Is work a path to freedom or a tool of control?
Work is one of the primary ways individuals express themselves, build identity, and achieve independence. In capitalism, work is voluntary exchange, a path to earn, grow, and contribute to society. The freedom to choose your profession, negotiate your wage, or even start a business is a hallmark of liberty. Capitalism rewards value creation. Those who work hard, solve problems, or meet demand are compensated accordingly. Yes, not all jobs are glamorous, but the system adapts. As productivity rises, so does the potential for better work conditions and wages. Work isn't control, it's opportunity. The alternative, where the state assigns or guarantees employment, risks reducing people to cogs in a bureaucratic machine. Capitalism believes work should be driven by personal purpose, not political planning. It is precisely through work that individuals gain the freedom to live life on their own terms.
Under capitalism, work is often less about fulfillment and more about survival. Millions labor in low-wage, high-stress jobs, not because they want to, but because they have no choice. When your livelihood, healthcare, and housing depend on employment, work becomes coercion. Socialism redefines work. It should be meaningful, fairly compensated, and serve the collective good. It challenges the notion that value is tied only to market demand. Why are care workers and teachers underpaid, while speculators earn millions? In a socialist framework, the dignity of labor is central. People shouldn't be trapped in jobs they hate just to survive. With public ownership and democratic workplaces, Work becomes a source of empowerment, not exploitation. Socialism aims to free people from the tyranny of the paycheck, not by eliminating work, but by making it truly human.
Socialism assumes that central planning knows what work is meaningful, but meaning is subjective. In capitalism, you decide what gives your life purpose. You can switch careers, develop skills, or create your own enterprise. That flexibility is real power. Yes, some jobs are underpaid, and that needs reform, but market value reflects real demand. It's not exploitation to pay differently for different skills. Capitalism adapts as economies grow. So do options. Automation and innovation reduce drudgery, while entrepreneurship opens paths out of poverty. The idea that people are forced to work ignores the dignity that many derive from earning, building, and succeeding. Work isn't tyranny, it's agency, and capitalism defends your right to choose how, when, and why you work.
The freedom to choose rings hollow when people are burdened by debt, illness, or systemic inequality. A single mother working 2 jobs isn't choosing, she's surviving. Under capitalism, millions are stuck in dead-end jobs not because they lack talent, but because the system devalues their contributions. Market demand often ignores human need. Socialism doesn't erase choice, it expands it by ensuring a baseline of security. Only when people aren't crushed by economic necessity can they truly pursue work that inspires them. When workers have a stake in their workplaces, when profits serve communities, not shareholders, work becomes liberating. Socialism doesn't want to abolish work, it wants to reclaim it.
Should people own things or should things serve people?
Private property is the cornerstone of freedom. When individuals can own land, homes, and businesses, they gain autonomy and security. Ownership creates responsibility, people care for what's theirs. It also drives innovation and investment. Why build, invent, or improve something if you can't benefit from it? Capitalism protects property rights because they incentivize productivity and reward initiative. This doesn't mean ignoring the public good, it means recognizing that personal ownership often leads to broader prosperity. When people can accumulate and manage assets, they plan for the future and contribute to economic growth. Abolishing or limiting ownership undermines motivation and replaces individual agency with centralized control. Capitalism sees ownership not as greed but as empowerment. The right to own is the right to build a life on your terms.
Ownership under capitalism often serves the few, not the many. A system where billionaires own entire cities' worth of housing while others sleep on the street is not freedom, it's feudalism with smartphones. Socialism doesn't oppose ownership, it opposes hoarding. People should own their homes, their tools, their time. But essential resources, land, housing, healthcare, education should be shared. When these things are privatized, they become commodities, not rights. Socialism advocates for collective ownership of what we all depend on. Public parks, libraries, and transit systems show how shared resources can serve everyone. Ownership should be rooted in use, not profit. When things serve people rather than the other way around, society becomes more just, more stable, and more humane.
Socialism often confuses ownership with greed. The problem isn't that people own too much, it's that not enough people have the chance to own. Capitalism doesn't deny access, it creates it by encouraging productivity. The solution to housing shortages isn't abolishing landlords, but enabling more people to buy property through growth and credit. Ownership breeds accountability. When the state owns everything, who's responsible when things go wrong? Bureaucracy replaces initiative, and while public goods have their place, they can't replace the efficiency and innovation of private enterprise. Shared resources often suffer from neglect. Think of underfunded public housing or crumbling infrastructure. Capitalism believes people should have the power to own, to invest, and to pass on their achievements. That's not exploitation, that's aspiration.
Capitalism protects ownership for the powerful, not the public. When a handful of corporations own media, medicine, and housing, it isn't empowerment, it's oligarchy. Socialism isn't anti-ownership, it's about redefining who gets to own. Instead of CEOs and shareholders controlling critical industries, workers and communities should have a voice. Public ownership doesn't mean faceless bureaucracy, it means democratic control. It means decisions are made based on need, not profit margins. And the idea that markets naturally spread ownership is a myth. Wealth concentrates over time, leading to inequality that locks people out. Socialism doesn't want to erase aspiration, it wants to share it. When the things we all rely on are held in common, everyone has a stake, and that's real empowerment.
This concludes our debate. Who do you think had the stronger case, and which ideology do you prefer and why? Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.